So I've been playing with my sustain build for a while, and I had a pretty good games with it. Hello there, and welcome back to my channel. And even though I recently hit Masters, this game is still in Diamond Elo. There's quite a bit of delay between this game and the moment this video goes live, so I'm not like keeping you up to date with my grind. It's not a big deal though, my videos still have this progression order of some sort, so it's all good I think. I'm using the same exact build as in my previous video, still not using flash because I don't think it fits the build. It's all about constantly kiting your enemies with movement speed and knockbacks, and the short distance that you get from flash is just not good enough. Like if the enemy engages on you, you stun them and get away. If they continue chasing you with their flash, you push them away with the barrel of push and awayness. That's also one of the main reasons why I use this build primarily against melee opponents. The repulsor enchant is just useless against ranged enemies, and if the enemy have more mages or ADCs, I will use my burst build instead with the Rod of Ages.
Welcome to Wild Rift.
So I'm playing against Yone this game, and the thing I learned while playing versus Yone players is his first ability actually has a good range. He can reach you while you are trying to poke the bone plating out of him, so this time I got outtraded. Now at level 2 he's gonna go for some longer trades. Again, extremely predictable stuff. You can just land your stun on him whenever he does his wind dash knock-up thingy. And if he's doing this without his spirit state, you can even follow him with the movement speed from your phase rush. Not too far though, you don't want to be outtraded by the minion damage, so sometimes you don't even want to basic attack him, because your stars will not trigger the minion aggro. Now you definitely don't want to use your stun proactively, you just want to let this Yone come to you and then respond to that. I almost lost my life because of that. Now I see a good opportunity for a gank here, that being my low HP bot lane. Because of that, the enemy ADC might stay and overextend for a kill, and they almost got it. Draven escaped at like 1 HP. But I ended up cleaning this teamfight and getting myself a double kill, losing just one minion in the process. And I didn't allow this Yone to push my turret plates either, so it's perfect. So I'm back to farming, I got myself a Horizon focus, and something is happening in bot lane again. I'm not gonna fly there, it's not a good timing. I have a full wave in the mid lane and my Tryndamere is already there, so it would be a literal overkill if I went there as well. But I do see that the enemy Yone went there, so I pinged the hell out of the minimap. I was hoping that Yone will not be able to kill anyone, and everything went okay, but just in case something weird is gonna happen, like the enemy jungler is gonna come as well, I went there with my star. We can now tower dive this Yone, I can take a few turret shots, it's not a big deal. And then I'm just gonna recall back to base. Damn you, cannon minion. Now it's gonna be the last gank before the first objective. I fly to the bot lane, and I wanna repeat myself, you really want to aim your star a lot further behind the enemies. Like almost all the way to the enemy turret. Most of my ganks that I've messed up was just because I underestimated how far the enemy would run away. I would argue that this time I got lucky, the Misfortune almost had enough distance to run away. But she didn't, and we got rid of the enemy bot lane just before the dragon, so that's a free one. Now I do understand that the enemy jungler is gonna go for the Rift Herald, and also see at the minimap that our top lane turret is at like half HP, but I also noticed that we can actually get the first turret in the bot lane. So I left the dragon to Tryndamere and went straight to my Draven, trying to help him push out the first turret. Of course, ASol is not the best champion when it comes to pushing turrets, but if the enemy Lee Sin would put the Rift Herald a little bit further, that would be really close. By the way, I didn't expect the Sion ult into Dragon, even though it's a completely correct play. He got our Alistar, but Tryndamere still had his ultimate, so I'd say it was fine. Now a lot of stuff is happening in the mid lane, and I'll say it like that, if you don't know where to shoot your star when you're going from base, just shoot it to the mid lane. The worst thing that could happen is your star will hit no one, and that's not a bad thing either. It will at least push out your minion wave, which is not bad at all. This flight was not necessary, I'd say, that was my mistake, but it doesn't matter. And this Misfortune actually chased down the Draven all the way from the bot lane, I'm not even kidding. They eventually got a kill on him, but now me and my cow friend are here, so we can do something, I guess. Not really though, we can just clean up the low HP Misfortune and then waste a little bit of time and run away. Now we are safe, we are out of the combat, we can just get back to base, recall, reset, heal back, you know, I don't have mana, I don't have HP, so I should run. But for some reason I turned around and tried to land my stun on someone. I don't know why. So yeah, I'm running away with my flight. I almost got away, but this Q from Yone finished me off. I swear to God, it was like pixel perfect. What a shame. It turned out to be not that bad. We wasted so much time that our Draven and Nautilus were able to respawn and clean up the fight. Now another fight in bot lane. Our Alistar is doing great job. He got himself the Broda Belt. Broda Belt is like one of the best enchants for Alistar. And the important thing is I'm not basic attacking this Lee Sin, because ultimately your basic attacks do nothing and they just slow you down, you know, they make you stop for a second in the team fight. That's not what you want to do. Most of the time basic attacks are not worth it unless you're like 1v1ing or, you know, in some rare cases. Also, this Misfortune just disappeared. That's the damage of fed ASol, I guess. Now that was a team fight and a half. I somehow got the Rift Herald, and our Alistar is buying us some time in the back. But then everyone went in, I got kicked by the Lee Sin, and I'm out. I'm not gonna continue this fight, that would be suicide. Yeah, we almost got aced, so ultimately this Rift Herald is pretty useless, it was not worth it at all. But the next dragon is important though, so we're trying to do something here with Alistar, but we basically just got ourselves cornered, and I got ulted by Braum. But then this Lee Sin was brought back from death by this Braum. He used his heal on him, the protector item, I don't really remember what it's called. Yeah, this Braum like saved this guy's ass like twice. It doesn't matter, they wasted too much stuff to kill me, and my team was able to just, you know, clean up. Then a good team fight happened, we got like 3 of the enemies, and then we just continued chasing them in mid lane. I put my Rift Herald here, just because I didn't know where else to put him. Now you can see that everything is going well, they didn't kill any one of us, and we're just keeping the pressure on mid lane. But I had to go back to the base because I ran out of mana, and I had my Leandris here. And from that point, everything is going to hell. My team overstays in the mid lane, thinking that they can end the game. They couldn't. They got aced by the enemy Sion, Lee Sin, Yone. And then I misjudged my power level. I thought that I can at least kill someone because I have my summoner spells. But enemy Yone and Lee Sin were too much for me. And we got aced. That's a free Baron for the enemy. The enemies ended up splitting themselves, Sion went bot lane, and with enough crowd control we were able to kill him. And you know, it's not the best idea to fight with the enemies under Baron buff, but when you have such a good engages from Alistar, you know, you cannot just ignore it, right? This Alistar is single-handedly carrying this game for us. Almost the same thing happened, we cannot learn from our mistakes, we lost 2 people while trying to end the game. Yeah, that was bad. Baron buff on Braum that buffed the minions was especially painful. Now we don't have our jungler with us, and we have a way for us to lose this game. It's if we all engage on this dragon and die, the enemy can then just, you know, dive our remaining people and get the Nexus. So I typed in the chat that we should not fight for this dragon, we should just give it up. The death timers are just too much at that point. It was a correct play. After that we caught some enemies in our red side jungle. Because of that we can now get the Baron and push the enemy mid lane for the victory. So that's it, that's the game. I hope you liked it. The patch preview for 4.2 recently dropped and I'm very excited for it. Not so much for Swain, even though he's a mid lane champion, but for Ice Dragon, because it's new, because it's fresh. I'm really excited to try it out, and the new fruits as well. So until the next time, thank you all for watching, and bye.